fans, I'm not even going to attempt to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you a white lie. I'm not going to tell you a partial lie. The truth is, this is likely the worst season y'all will have in the last 5 years.
Shut up the Bills! It's not a house game! It's not a house game!
Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Homie, now listen, everyone play their position. Buffalo got a tradition. They say we tripping, they better get out our way. Top of the table, we flipping, we on a mission. Got an unstoppable team, continue to follow your dream by any means. Buffalo, get in the Super Bowl ring. Cause we the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, we the Buffalo Bills. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, yeah. Reppin' the mafia, Bills, mafia, yeah. You better know that. Look how we throwing and catching, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. You better know that. Look how we running and hitting, cause we are unstoppable, yeah. Mafia up in your city, time to get gritty. Screaming and yelling, we bugging. Look at the red and blue.
This is an MVP year for Josh Allen. As an MVP voter, I said this last week. Josh Allen, he looks like an MVP. When you vote for MVP, and I can speak for myself, I think I'm one of 50 voters, you look at a couple things. Who's the best team in football? Who's the best player on that team in football? What do they look like as the best player on that team in football? And how much talent is around that best player on that best team in football?
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an edition of the Coast to Coast podcast. I am your co-host, Beyond 716, and is always privileged and honored to share the stage here and to the one, the only Whittle 2K. You know, our tone here is going to be a lot different tonight, as we all know. And we're going to get into all the game, but all I could think about at some point Sunday, Whittle, was what is our Super Bowl show going to look like as we get ready for New Orleans? And alas, we have come a little bit short, and the trolls have come out 3 seconds in as June has arrived. But I digress. But Whittle, how are you today, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I'm not the way that we wanted this season to end, but I think if we look at where we were at this time, August, I think if you went back and said, hey, would you guys want to be in the AFC Championship game with 3 minutes to go, 3 timeouts, and Josh Allen has the football? We're on offense with an opportunity to drive, length of the field, score a touchdown, and walk out of Kansas City with a win in the playoffs over the Chiefs and an opportunity to, punch your ticket to go to the Super Bowl. I think anybody here would have. I think any Bills fan would have taken it. I'm June. I'm not going to engage with you if you can't show up when your team is down or you can't show up consistently. Don't do it now. So I think anybody would have took that. Anybody would have definitely jumped on that and said, I'll take it. Because you looked at the roster. When we started the season. Taylor Rapp and DeMar Hamlin starting at safety. Like nobody had that on their bingo cards, right? You didn't know what you were going to get for Von Miller. Corner was still a question because Trey White was gone. It was still up in the air about how good was Ed Oliver going to be. The offensive line had some questions. The wide receivers room had some questions. I mean, everything was a question except for Terrell Bernard, and Josh Allen, pretty much, like and Khalil Shakir. Everything else was a question. James Cook, great season. Should have been a Pro Bowl running back. You know, the offensive line, top 5 unit for sure. Um, the defense played very, very well. The defense played in spite of the obvious talent deficiencies that we had. I thought the scheme was good. They took the ball away a lot. But in the end, when you look at what this team dealt with throughout the year, it came back at the end of the year, right? So there were times where you kind of needed a guy to just kind of assert himself, kind of like a Stephon Diggs for the last like 2 years or whatever. Like the first 3 years Stephon was here, it was just kind of like sometimes, you know what? This is just a Stephon game. It's just a Diggs game, right? He's going to assert himself. He's going to have, 7 or 8 receptions. He's going to have 120 some yards or whatever, 2 touchdowns. He's going to have a great game. And hey, we didn't have that, and it showed. Hats off to Kansas City. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. You get to go and chase history, get a three-peat. You'll be the first team to do it since, I think, forever. Right? They'll be the first team
in the
Super Bowl
era. Yeah, I'm not sure in the NFL championship days. I mean, there may have been Green Bay or
probably,
one of those teams that may have done it. But listen, they were great teams. It was just a totally different era. The Super Bowl era, the first three-peat ever would be the Kansas City Chiefs. Something New England never did. Nothing the great 49ers teams ever did. Nothing the great Cowboys teams ever did. They all got close, but they couldn't knock it down.
Yeah. So I'm. So let's get to the season. Let's talk about the season. Matt Collins. Hate to toot my own horn here, but I was right. I told you guys in the offseason Matt Collins was going to be a key addition to this team, and and he was. I think he had a great year. Considering what he'd done over the last few years, I thought his impact was weekly. You could see it. He brought an edge to the offense. I enjoyed him immensely this year. Crump, 2 years, 1,000-yard seasons, and this year, it just looked easy for him, right? It just looked easy. So I think we got a really good, he's a top 5 back right now, and I think he's just scratching the surface. I mean, I'm gonna pull up his numbers from college, if I'm not mistaken. What's this? Oh, okay, yeah. Well, everybody knows that. So let me pull up PFF really quickly. James Cook, Georgia. But he didn't have a ton of carries in college, so I'm looking at I'm trying to find his stuff. Where is it? Selected player grades.
Giving a shout out to the group chats lively already. What's up, Mark? What's up, Patrick? Dom?
What's up, Mark?
Hey, we have Bruce Smith in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, you know what? Just that name brings a smile on my face right there. So.
Oh, okay. Hey, that's not like 78.
Imagine that would lift our spirits immediately, Will. That would get us.
Well, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
The great Bruce Smith can always bring me joy. He was my favorite player ever. So for the Bill, to ever don the Bills jersey. So I won't.
Yeah.
I'll leave that alone. You know about just about the feelings. And you know what? I'll say a little to June. June. I'm just only going to say one thing to June. St. John's 18-3, 9-1 in the Big East. That's what we have in common. So let's get on that, June. So as far as how it felt, Whittle, and I'm 51 years old, right? And I'm going to tell you guys, it doesn't get any easier. It doesn't. Like you think when you get older, it's easier to handle. I mean, I don't get as crazy as I used to as the games, in my 20s and all that. But man, we've come so close so many times, and the way that these games went, and just the enormity of these matchups, and just the level of play against the Chiefs, and how just painfully close we came, really 3 times against this team in the playoffs. It really just doesn't get any easier. I mean, that's really right now it's kind of raw. The feelings are absolutely there. This for me is very much like, in many ways, I think this is when it comes to the Super Bowl era, we were decisive underdogs in 3 to 4 games. The AFC wasn't that strong. Buffalo was an excellent team, right? But it's not like now, right? But Buffalo, to me, has looked that part the last 4 or 5 years, where you could easily say we probably would have at least one chip if we got through Kansas City all these times, right? Well, I mean, we may not win 3, 2, but I can guarantee you we have one. I guarantee you there's one in that trophy case for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, I absolutely feel, and that's why I think this feels very similar, if not in some ways more. It's not anger; it's just more upsetting, because it was so close. You could really feel it. We're going to get into the game in just a second, but I just wanted to interject the general thoughts of the fan base.
Yeah. So my immediate reaction to this Bruce Smith thing is like throwing me off right now.
I'm loving it. I feel like it's cheering us up here in a way. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like,
It's kind of crazy, man. My immediate reaction after the game was over, I wasn't hurt. I wasn't mad. Well, I'm not gonna say I wasn't hurt. I wasn't mad. I wasn't upset. I wasn't like throwing anything. I didn't curse the refs out. Like I didn't do any of that stuff. I just sat there and I was like, you know, it is what it is. I like hell of a season, but it's over. I get it.
Yeah.
Not something that not something that I expected. I didn't expect to be there, to be honest with you. I thought we would get to the divisional and lose to one of the better teams, or one of the better quarterbacks. I thought we'd get to the divisional, and if it was the Ravens or the Chiefs or the Bengals, we would lose to that team, and that would be that. But I walked away from that game honestly like we didn't deserve to win the game. We really did not deserve to win the game. And the reason why I say that is because you start the game off really, really with a foreign game plan. Like it just doesn't register. Like it didn't make sense to come out like this was Buffalo 2021 under Brian Daboll. Like you got Josh dropping back, throwing the ball 3 straight times. What are we doing? That's not this year, right? That's not this year anymore. That's not what we do anymore. So me personally, I would have came out. I would have ran the football. I would have come out in 21, 12, whatever, and run the football. They didn't do that. So the other thing that was kind of foreign to me was once Benford went down now you're playing. Now you're playing with with essentially one hand tied behind your back on defense because you don't have the personnel to throw in some exotic stuff. Like if you want to get exotic and say, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to stick Benford in zone. We're going to slide a safety. We're going to stick Benford in like a deep half zone. We're going to put a linebacker underneath him, and maybe we'll spy with like, or we'll send Taron Johnson on a blitz, and then on the other side, we're gonna go man with Rasul and have the safety over top. All of these different things we could have done had we had our number one corner. Makes the difference in the defense, right? But we didn't. So that took a lot of, what I'm sure what they wanted to do off the table. Josh was off early. You could see that. He missed some throws. The ones that jump out to you early are, obviously the Curtis Samuel one. If he hits Curtis Samuel and his numbers, he probably scores there. He hits Kincaid not far enough in front. He didn't lead him enough. Should have been a catch. I think. I think you have to be a little stronger at the catch point if you're Dalton Kincaid. But Josh just missed some throws. He had two that should have been interceptions on the first drive. Who else? He missed somebody else deep down the field. I can't remember. He was off to Keon. Keon had 4 targets. Only 2 of them were catchable. The other 2 were just ridiculously just overthrown. So Josh wasn't great, right? He wasn't great. He was good. He was good.
Yeah.
Second half, Josh was good.
Yeah.
But he wasn't great. And when you're playing the champs in their building, you got to be great. In order to beat them, you got to be great because they don't make mistakes. They're not going to beat themselves. We got the turnovers, like I said, we needed. We ran the football, like we talked about. Q. It just the writing was on the wall, right? 10-7, second quarter, we have the football. We just got the football back, right? We get no points out of that. No points. End up punting, right? They go down, they score, they take the lead. Then they stop us again. They get the ball, and they go down. It's 21-10. You had a chance to be up 17-7 in the first quarter. Then you really could have leaned on your running game, right? But we failed to execute offensively, which isn't a surprise because the team scored 30 points in 12 games out of the 17 throughout the regular season. We put 30 up on the Broncos and the wild card, and then we did enough early enough to beat to hold off the Ravens. So not having Rat was tough. That also hinders your what you can do defensively. You're missing 2 starters out of your secondary. That's difficult, and it's the better ones like your best corner and your best safety. You're missing those guys, so that's tough. I thought the linebackers were fine. Milano played well. Overall, man, I thought the team played fine. Josh didn't make some plays. I thought there were some questionable play calls on offense. We got away from the run. First of all, we didn't start the game running the football, and second half we got away from the run, which didn't make sense after it was super successful in the third quarter. James Cook had an entire drive where he was the engine. We ran the ball with him. threw the ball to him, and I mean, he made plays. He got us down the field. Josh makes a great throw to Curtis Samuel in the back of the end zone against zone coverage. And they score a touchdown, and then we don't go back to it. We don't go back to it. There are people that are going to complain about the 2-point conversion, saying Sean McDermott got scared. He was chasing points. Listen, the tush push, the quarterback sneak, the snowplow, whatever you want to call it. 30 of 31. That was the success rate. It was 30 of 31. So you get you score a touchdown and they line up off sides. You get the ball at the 1 yard line. I'm going for it. I would have done it too. Then in the second time we went for it with the tush push. We're it's 21-10. I mean, the second time we went for a 2-point conversion, it was 21-16. You get 2 there, you're down 3, and halftime's right there. Right? Halftime's right there. So you're down. You don't need a touchdown to take the lead. You can just kick a field goal to tie the game, or you kick the field goal, or you score a touchdown, and now you're up 4. They need a touchdown in order to get back in front. So just those 2 misses right there, those 2 points, and then and then they go for there too, and they get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Whittle, we spoke about the little things, right? They add up against Kansas City. You can't leave the little things on the table, right? The special teams return, right? The 2-point conversions, the smallest of things. It just adds up against Kansas City. It's not, and the one thing about, you mentioned the start of the game, right? And we were talking about the Super Bowls, right? And the mental side of things, right? Do you think it's starting to become like, Josh, you would figure at this point in his career with all the experience he's had in the playoffs, to come out that nervous, he looked absolutely nervous. He almost looked like, I don't want to say deer in headlights look, Whittle, but you would think at this point, the amount of times he's played this team and the amount of times he's been in this scenario, that wouldn't have set in. But is it becoming mental a little bit with this team against this team in this scenario? It's not, I don't blame McDermott really too much for this game. I think for the most part, he did fine, but you just wonder if that's really going to start weighing on this franchise. And that's my one concern going into the offseason, right? You can't have too much of a knee-jerk reaction. We have an excellent roster, right? We have a lot of things to be proud of this year, like you said. I think the biggest thing we argued about this season was everybody thought the sky was falling. Everybody thought our window was closed. And I think that was our general theme, is that it's not. And that turned out to be absolutely correct. And we went probably even a little further, that we probably thought privately that this was going to happen. So, but do you kind of worry? Do you think it's becoming a little bit mental at this point, considering how painfully close these games have been?
So I'm just going to say it, and listen, like it or not, this is truly what it actually is. Well, to me, all right, I'll just say, and from my opinion on what I'm seeing, you either have that dog in you or you don't. And as of right now, I am questioning whether or not Josh has that dog. I know that it's in there because we have seen it. The 13-second game, that dog was there. You saw it, right? I think I think it's, I don't know what's up with the 2018 quarterback class, man, but Josh seems to not be able to summon his inner dog against the Chiefs. Lamar Jackson can't seem to summon his inner dog outside of the wild card round, or against the other, elite teams. Um, you saw what Sam Darnold did in the
Yeah.
playoffs. Like it's, I don't know what's up with that class. You know what? You know who does have that dog in him from that class? Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
And even he didn't have a great game, but man, that 2018 class had a poor showing this year. I mean, Josh got to the AFC Championship, but whatever. It's a poor showing, man. Poor showing. Certainly you expect more. You expect better from Josh in that spot after the season that we just had, after playing the Chiefs so many times. You would think Josh is used to this now, right? We're used to it. And yeah, just no, it wasn't there. So I think I gotta give Josh and Joe Brady the bulk of the blame here. I can't look at these 2-point conversions that Sean McDermott said, yeah, let's go for it. I can't look at them and say that those weren't decisions that I would have made. I would have taken that point off the board and said, we're going to put up as many points as possible on this team. We're going to try and force them to make mistakes by putting pressure on them. We was going for it on fourth down. And I can't say no. I can't point to a spot where I'm looking at McDermott and saying, "This is the gaff, dog. This is the gaff on you."
Yep.
I can't. Somebody in the chat, please. If you disagree, somebody in the chat, please, just from the comments where you think McDermott is blamed needs to be blamed here. So like I said earlier, man, there were a couple things that we talked about in the offseason that we worried about. Number one, it was cornerback depth, right? After Christian Benford, Rasul Douglas, it's just depth, period, right? After the starters, do we trust the guys behind them? Obviously, a safety, no. Corner, not really. Defensive line, like that was the other thing. What are we going to get from the defensive line? Like, is Ed going to have a good year? And if he has a good year, do the other guys around him have a good year to supplement what he's doing? Well, Ed didn't have the year he had last year, but Ed had his moments. And 3 games in the playoffs, Ed had 3 good games. He had 3 really good games. Can't complain about Ed Oliver at all. We worried about the one tech position. Do we have a guy who's going to force teams to single block Ed Oliver? And if they don't single block him, is this guy going to make them pay? No, we don't. That's clear. Do we have sufficient pressure from the edge rushers? Do we have a guy on his defense on his defensive line that's a straight playmaker? No, we don't. Safety, you know how we felt about safeties. Special teams, we worried about special teams. Last year, the punter scared the crap out of us. The kicker scared the crap out of us. And the special teams coach, period. Just, it wasn't good. And lo and behold, in this game, special teams failed us. Huge kick returns. I have no idea how they just. If you tell me that it's because the other team is cheating or they're holding and they're getting away with it, then hold. When it's our turn, hold. Because we have guys back there that are explosive as well. I probably would have made Codrington available for this game. I probably would have made Codrington available just for that special teams just for special teams, just for the returns. And I know he's scary because he'll put the ball on the turf sometimes, right? But he's so close to breaking one for us. He's so close. Um,
Yep.
that's probably where I look at McDermott and say, man, you should have did this. But Joe Brady had an awful game in the second half calling plays. He had a great drive in the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter, got away from the run. I don't know how much of that is Josh Allen checking out of run plays, but way too many times I was looking at the screen. Because me and my son, we watched the game together.
Nice.
Way too many times I'm looking at this. We're looking at the screen, and James Cook is on the sideline. You got Ty Johnson in the game. Ray Davis was awful. I listen, chat, Bills Mafia. I'm sorry, Ray Davis. We shouldn't have picked him. Ray Davis it's a nice story. He's a nice player. We didn't need him. Honestly, we didn't need him. We could have used that pick and got Hicks or got another safety or a defensive tackle or a defensive end, something else. We could have took something else with Ray Davis's pick. I mean, Ray Davis had a handful of plays. He had one great game, and and he's going to be 25. If he's not 25 already, by the time his contract's over, he's going to be a year away from 30. What are we doing with him? What are we doing with Ray Davis?
Yep.
We're not re-signing him. So
Yeah, I thought the
again,
Bills got
I wasn't
got
mad.
way too cute on offense in the fourth. Like,
Yeah,
too many
yeah.
fall in love with the screen pass, Whittle. I mean, I love the screen pass play that they started putting in this year to the wide receiver screen, but don't you think it was almost like they felt like they didn't have answers and they were just trying to say, hey, let's just get as close as possible. But one thing I'll credit the Chiefs on is that first time this year I've seen the tush push just not look effective at all. Like I had no confidence late in that game.
Well, when you lined up off sides, you can do that.
That's true. And that spot was big. Now, I know Marino's legacy said we're not blaming the refs. I understand that. I'm not saying that's the only reason that we've lost. But you can't tell me that momentum really flipped on that play. And, you mentioned something about McDermott and aggressiveness. You know what I think McDermott would have done if we scored a touchdown on that drive? We would have went for 2 and going up 9. We're up 7 points. I'd be willing to bet you McDermott would have went for 2 in that situation. I'd be willing to bet.
Right, end it right there. Yeah, you're probably right, man.
And I think that would have been the right call. I wouldn't have had
any
doubt. Would you have had any issue with that, Whittle? Like, even if he didn't get it, right? I'd be like, yeah, like that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. That's aggressive McDermott. I love aggressive McDermott. I'll be honest with you. I think the defense under Babbage is way more passive than it was under McDermott. I like that for us. Because like the defense last year with the personnel that we have, if we played defense last year with this year's personnel, oh my gosh, bro. Like those guys were flying around the field last year, man. I mean, they were flying around. But this year, third down defense, we were bad. And what do you know? This game, bad again, right? 5 of 9 on third down defense. They got 5 first downs. And when they didn't get it on third down, they got it on fourth a couple of times as well. So,
And, part of that we got to credit. I mean, the other thing is, too, are we going up against the greatest OC-DC combo in modern football history right now?
Absolutely.
And we're losing by this much.
This is where I look at what you're saying right now, and I say to myself, why is it that we keep falling short? What are we doing wrong? Essentially, we're not doing anything wrong. We're just doing the same thing over and over and over. When you play against when you're playing against Andy Reid and Spagnuolo, you have to do things different. Stay true to yourself, but do things different. I'm not saying don't do the snowplow. Do it. But get to the right. Like if I'm the head coach, I'm saying, bro, like we've done this twice already, and they're lining up on the left, like they know you're going left. So go right this time. Let's just see what happens. Let's go right and see if that changes things up. Or, third and short, come out with personnel that you can use in 21, right? Or 12 or 13. And then lined up like you're going to go for the tush, the snowplow, right? Audible out. Audible out to a regular play, right? Audible out to a regular play. Even if you run the football, it's still something different that they got to think about later. Case in point, all game when Spags brought the blitz, he brought it from the center and from the left side. He kept doing it. He kept doing it until the last play. He threw his jab over and over and over until the last play, and then he threw the hook. And it landed clean. Because Josh likes to run right. He put all of that eye candy there, and we helped him by going into a condensed formation. You have everybody bunched up. You don't know what's wrong with putting Josh in, empty. What's wrong with putting him in 11 shotgun, 4 wideouts, or three receivers, a tight end? What's wrong with that? Like, why can't we do that? Why can't we set up like we're gonna run the football, strong side, 2 tight ends, wide receiver motions over, and then drive back, go change the formation to shotgun. Spread the tight end out, put Kincaid in the slot, and you run a play. Now the defense is reacting to what you're doing versus you trying to react to what the defense is doing post snap. For all the good that Brady's done as the play caller this year, he had an entire offseason to get multiple with the play calls and multiple with the formations and really be innovative. And for the most part, he has been with getting the running backs and the tight ends involved. I didn't see enough with the wide receivers. I didn't see enough with the passing game. I didn't see enough nuance with the passing game. Then it sprinkled here and there. That play that they scored a touchdown on against Denver with Curtis Samuel, that was a good play. It was a man coverage look. You knew it was coming. You were ready for it. You sent the layered deep overs. You sent layers out, and it forced guys out of that bunch set to work through traffic and get to the receiver. Right. Great call. Against the Ravens, we did something unconventional, which is beat them at their own game. But against the Chiefs, you know how the Chiefs, you know how much the Chiefs disguise, you know how much they, you know how variable they can be offensively and defensively. You should be ready for that and have your own set of variable plays that you can go to. And I'm going to throw curveballs at you as well. Just not a great game from the quarterback, not a great game from the coordinator, the offensive coordinator. I thought Babbage was fine. I think the defensive issue is talent more than it is anything else.
One thing I wanted to ask you about, 16 snaps for Von Miller? What was that all about? That because I was watching the game, I said, wait a minute, is Von Miller playing this game? Like, I didn't see number 40 out there, and I was like, wasn't this kind of the time, the reason that we traded for or signed Von Miller in the first place for this exact scenario?
to be honest with you, man, like
And something
I
happened there, and
I didn't really see a ton of options where
Mhm.
it made sense to bring him in. Like we
Oh, okay.
barely got them in third and long. Like we barely had them in those. Like they stayed in third and manageable. Shout out to
Hmm.
third and manageable. For what was it?
Yeah,
Friday night. Friday
yeah,
night student
yeah.
and Matt. Shout out to y'all. But
Hmm.
yeah, the Chiefs stayed in third and manageable pretty much all night. They ran the
Hmm.
ball with Kareem Hunt very effectively. They utilized their speed with mesh routes, mesh concepts, and things like that to get Worthy the football, to get Hollywood Brown and Juju and guys like that open. Um, yeah, but defensively, man, like I'm not even mad. And I'm not really mad with the defense. They gave up 32.
Schematically,
Like,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it could have
you
been
gave up
better.
32 with no Benford, no Rap, and
Yeah.
Damar Hamlin can't cover. Like Damar Hamlin and Kyrie Elam. Like, my God.
We need better depth, Whittle. So then, if we do have that injury again, we don't put in Elam in that situation. If we had much more depth there, better options, maybe a little more adequacy from that position at that point, maybe we're in New
Yeah,
Orleans right now. It could be that simple. So
I need. I'm. Elam needs a new beginning somewhere else.
yeah, and wish him
It's
well. I
time.
mean, he's
Yeah.
sometimes players aren't just right fits in right organizations for whatever reason, and I think the Jason Elam experiment has run its course. So I think he definitely needs a new home for 2025.
Somebody asked the question, Patrick. Would you guys bring
Yes.
back Cooper? Yes. I mean, yes, I would.
Hmm.
I would because um, I think I want. I think I want Elam. I mean Elam. I think I want to give uh, Josh and Cooper an opportunity to really work things out. Like work on their connection. All those different things. I'm glad you didn't even put this comment out discussing anger with McDermott, either fraud or should be working at McDonald's. Bomb.
Yeah,
I guess
I mean, come on.
it's
I
probably
mean,
she.
yeah, probably. So, I mean,
But
again, I
anyway,
McDermott, I think had a he didn't have an amazing game, but he's far from having a bad night. Like it wasn't there weren't egregious mistakes made that I felt that he did in terms of having this team ready in terms of in game decisions. I didn't feel that way at all
right.
in that respect. And I think it's just like you said, we have a real talent issue on defense that kind of reared its ugly head, in terms of depth, and we just didn't have. Losing Benford was terrible. I mean, did they rush him back? Who knows? I mean, I think there's probably some truth to that. The Bills aren't usually doing that. They've been notorious for being slow to bring players back from injury, but this is the AFC Championship game. I think they kind of threw out the book on that, and so blame
That's
is
it.
execution by the offense. Allen had the ball 2
That's
times.
it.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, I'll say this: if Josh Allen gets that first down, right, like he should have, right, at the 40, and the referees made the right call, I don't know if I could sit here and say it's an absolute lock that the Bills scored a touchdown there based on the way that they were moving the ball in that drive, which really wasn't all that pretty. I mean, I think the third down play was a screen pass, if I remember correctly, a wide receiver screen. Like we were kind of plodding down the field. We weren't really crisp. You know what I mean, Weddle? It didn't have that killer instinct look that we were going to deliver that knockout punch that we did. It may have stalled. We may have got the field goal. We still may have lost anyway. So who really knows? But it didn't help matters. Let's put it that way. I mean, the referees calls, it magnifies an issue there, but it's not the absolute 100% reason that the Bills are not in New Orleans right now.
100%. I don't like James Cook only having 16 carries, I think it was, all game. I don't like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
he you gotta stay true to what you do. What you do is run the football. Um, you gotta run the football. You gotta run the football. But back to the Cooper thing, really, really quickly before
Sure.
we move past
Absolutely.
this. Um,
Yeah.
I want Cooper and Josh to have an off season together. I want them to uh, develop a chemistry. I want Brady to figure out ways to use that guy
Mm-hmm.
uh, and maximize his talent. And
Mm-hmm.
we didn't see that. Shakir, sometimes it comes down to a couple of plays. And what Bruce said is totally correct because you have there's certain spots that I'm sorry, you just have to convert, right? The Bills get the ball up 10-7, and the Bills get the ball up 10-7, and they oh, let me get rid of this.
Yep. Oh, by the way, 13 carries for James Cook, 85 yards, by the
13,
way.
even worse. Even worse.
13.
Um
And with
yeah,
85 yards rushing. Oh, that still hits me hard. So,
bro, he had at least another 40 in him. At least another
mm-hmm.
40.
Yep.
But it comes down to a couple of plays, right? Comes down to a couple of plays. Um, and when you get the football, I'm 10-7 on the road in the first half, knowing that the other team gets the ball after halftime. You got to score in that drive. You got to get
Mm-hmm.
points. Even if it's just 3, you got to get
Yep.
points. We did. We ended up punting.
Yep.
Up 22-21 with the football. Now, I hate that, they made that call because everybody thinks that. Like, I find it hard to believe that there's anybody out here that doesn't believe that that was a first down. Like, of course, Chief fans will say, "Oh, it wasn't a first down," but whatever. Come on.
Yeah.
But
They're whatever. I'm over them.
yeah, uh, you got to score on that drive as well. You're up. That puts an immense amount of pressure on them to come down and score. Um, and get 2 points if you go for 2. Or if we would have went for 2, uh, we score and go for 2 there, we're up 9. It's 31, 20, it's 30-21. Then they got to score, get the ball back, and then score again. So um, you got to execute. You got to execute. And you brought in you brought Keon in because he's a contested catch guy. Yet you're not throwing him the football in those situations. Like they threw him one fade ball in the end zone with McDuffie. It was too far in front. Like it just wasn't a great ball. He threw 2 other ones to him that just were uncatchable. And then the one he threw where Keon got held, and Keon still makes the catch. I would have liked to see more of Keon on the offensive side of the football. Throw more slants. Like these guys if they're gonna blitz you, you got to throw slants. You got to get the ball to these to guys like Keon and let him make plays. You live and die with those guys. Um, then if Brady's got to figure out how to incorporate zone beaters and man beaters in the same play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he does have that because he'll call a play where he'll have the receivers basically run. They'll run like layered post routes. They'll have 2 receivers lined up on the same side, and they'll run layered post routes, right? but then he'll swing the swing the running back out
Mhm.
into the flat with a pulling tight end or a fullback or the second back or whoever, and that's your blitz. That's your zone beater right there. Just dump it
Mhm.
off. Take the check down. You got a block in front. Let Cook or Davis or Ty Johnson get some yards after the catch, and then you get to the next play. Right? Maybe you get
Mhm.
2 or 3 yards. So what? It's better than an incomplete pass or worse. Right?
Mhm.
So he's got to figure out ways to do more of that. Um, and again, like I said, man, it comes down to a couple of plays, bro.
Yep.
And
It really, really does.
it's unfortunate.
Yep. And then the 4th and 5 play, of course, where Allen makes that incredible throw, and I think that's just Josh Allen in a nutshell, right? And the fact that that pass was even there for Kincaid to catch, and who knows if it even stands. If the refs, who knows if that mystery flag will never, I guess, know the answer to that. That was another thing for our fan base to get upset about, but we knew right then and there the game was over, even though the Bills had an opportunity on 3rd and long to stop them. We all know what kind of play was coming. I mean, we could all see it from home, right? Called it even before it happened, right? But they just can't stop it, and that's just, again, credit to, remember we spoke about this a couple weeks ago, right? Losing to Baltimore, losing to Kansas City, and when the dust settles and we get about 5-6 weeks out, if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, it's still going to sting, but it's a situation where 3 games by 12 points to the only team that ever three-peated. I can't lose my mind over that. Like, in terms of pointing the finger at the Bills, right? It's just, yeah, somebody's got to lose, right? It's unfortunate. It's been us 3 times, and maybe eventually we'll knock it down. And we're sitting here scratching our heads, and there are things we could have done better, of course. But the more I think about the defense, the more I agree with you. We need an infusion of talent this offseason. And just for our listeners out there, hey, we're all hurt now. And this is part of our therapy here. But don't fret, because once the Super Bowl's over, we know what we're pivoting to, Whittle. Free agency
I'm,
and
I'm
draft,
already I've
draft,
already
and draft.
started. I've already
Well,
yeah.
just for our listeners, Whittle has probably started last summer, so he's already been looking at some players. So we all know
Well,
that, right?
Senior Bowl is going on right now. Senior Bowl
Yes.
practices are going on this week. The game is Saturday. I will be watching that.
Hmm.
Let's see. I just wanna it just there's certain plays in the game where when you see them happen, bro, when you see them happen, you're just like, if we only got this, then we would be this. Then this would have happened, right?
Yep. Shout out to my buddy Thomas. He was on our podcast, Whittle, my Tampa Bay buddy right there. Don't sleep on Willie Lampkin. Already dropping some names here for our draft previews coming up, which we will have aplenty. So, want to give a shout out to my guy Thomas out there.
Is this the right one? Yes, it is. All right. Yeah. So, like, if you see right here, this is Samuel. The now, there's a possibility these guys catch him. If that ball's shown in front of him where he can just turn and run,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Reed's catching him.
No.
Reed's gonna have to take a great angle. Maybe he catches him, but he's still getting probably to the 50. He's
Mm-hmm.
probably getting to the 50. I'm gonna back it up. We'll just play it.
Yeah.
I like the setup. But again, These condensed sets, man. These condensed sets where you have all of these guys. Well, let me go back. These condensed sets, we got to figure out a way to get away from these two. 1, 2,
especially
3,
against the
4,
Chiefs.
5, 6, 7. You got
Mhm.
8 guys. 8 guys as potential threats right here.
Mhm.
We got to figure out a way to get away from those. But right off the rip, and it's zone. Like it looks
Oh,
like zone. Wait, is that zone? It's either zone or a coverage bust. Nah, I think they were playing zone everywhere but on
mhm.
Cooper. But anyway,
Yep.
now let's watch it from here. What is this line? I think that's the camera line. Come on, Josh.
Gotta hit that. I mean, you know,
You
Whittle,
gotta
I
hit
guess
that throw, man.
if there's a frustrating part of this game, we got a C performance out of Josh, and we lost by 3 points. If we just get a
Yeah.
B, if we get a B, we're in New Orleans, and that it's not like Josh had an A performance and we lost like in 2021. Shout out to Kevin Massari, cover 3 for that play. But that's really it. I mean, Brady had a C minus, Josh had a C, and we lost 32-29. That's for me is the part that I'm struggling with more than anything.
Once again, now they did try to spread them out a little bit, but then you bring this. But once you bring the halfback in here, and I'm guessing this was what was the down and distance here? Let me look. 3rd and 10. This was a 3rd and 10 play. So they're gonna drop 8 in coverage, but
Mhm.
still, like if they want to bring pressure, they can because but they're not. They feel very safe. We're on our side of the football field.
Mhm.
Let's watch this develop. You got Keon 1-on-1 here with McDuffie. Let's talk about the offensive line for a second on this. Come on, bro.
Ooh,
Come on.
Dion.
Yep.
Dion had some not so great moments in this game. And not all the time. There were a few.
You got a spy. This is man coverage with safety help everywhere over the middle of the field. But here, this ball needs to be thrown high and behind him, so he can turn and get physical with the corner, and it's thrown into the second row.
Mm.
Like he threw the ball to a point where like he can't. There's no way he's gonna make that play.
Yep.
Leo Chenal. These are all guys that these are all draft picks. Connor, draft pick. Chenal, draft pick. Hicks, draft pick. Bolton, draft pick. But these are all draft picks, bro.
All of them.
This is Chris
Yep.
Jones, Carl Lofton.
You know,
These are all draft picks.
it's funny you mentioned Chris Jones, right? And this is something I wanted to say. Everybody talks about Mahomes, and Mahomes is amazing. Don't get me wrong. Okay. Is the difference really Chris Jones? And we just don't talk about that enough.
That was last year.
I mean,
Chris
in
Jones
terms
doesn't
of
make
this
that
whole
play,
run,
we score.
right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In terms of the whole run, like we talk about we look at these
He's
teams
part
that
of
were
it.
close there. We just don't have a Chris Jones. We've never had a Chris Jones. No offense, Von Miller in his prime, maybe we could talk about that a little bit, but we've never had a Chris Jones. And maybe he's the guy that doesn't get the notoriety he deserves. I mean, he's putting himself in some rarefied air of greats, in my opinion. And we don't.
Listen,
he gets lost in the shuffle, in my opinion.
He got paid. He got paid like he mattered. So.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did. And he's living up to it as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna find the Kincaid play that people keep bringing up. Where is it? Here we go. All right, this will be the last. I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to review the blitz play on 4th and 5. I'm not doing it. It's been.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ed Oliver had a good game. Ed Oliver played well. So
yeah, he was very good. Yeah, and got held a couple times, but we'll digress on that as well.
A couple. Huh.
Well, I'm being kind, but I'm in a generous mood tonight. So
don't be.
Don't be. Spicy Beyond needs to make an appearance, so we'll get there shortly. Yeah, I don't think we talk about Chris Jones. I don't think they talk about Chris Jones enough when they're always analyzing the quarterbacks, and I get how that is, but he's just a game wrecker. And if the Bills had that if you put Chris Jones on our team these last 4 years, our trophy case is full. We got a couple.
We just need a game record. We need a guy on the line that's going to make opposing quarterbacks uncomfortable every single week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that, but we're going to get into this play right here. All right, yep. So this is big. Like they're in too high safety off the rip, right? And this corner's already pressed up. I think, yeah. So as soon if I'm Josh Allen, I'm looking at this corner press right up, and these two. I already see the safeties are high. This corner's pressed. This one comes out his bail and drops down. This is cover 2. That's telling me all day long. This is cover 2. Either man or cover 2 zone, and it looks like zone because you don't have any of these backers roll to follow Knox, right? So it's telling me that this is zone. Maybe it's combo. I don't know because I gotta go through the whole play, but if I'm reading cover 2 here. So that tells me this area right here is where they're trying to squeeze. And this safety here is gonna be responsible for this. This guy here is responsible for this. Nobody's responsible for this. And watch Shakir. Right here. Shakir is looking back for the quarterback when he should be shooting right up this seam. He should try to get right. This is Jaden Hicks. He should try to get right into Jaden Hicks, like right now. Run directly at Jaden Hicks' numbers and turn upfield. Get him flat-footed, turn upfield. Josh is going to hit this throw. You know why I know? Because he hit Mac Hollins for it right before the half for a touchdown. He's going to hit this throw. But what does he do? He sits down. Had he just taken the seam, man. Had he taken the seam, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So let me see if I got the end zone. Yeah. So, all right. This is Cook. Reed. Look at all of this field. Look at all of this field here. Look at all this green grass.
Field right there, Whittle. Yep.
Go.
Beautiful green
That's
grass.
it. Just go. If you go, he's gonna hit you right over the top. He does it every week to Matt Collins in similar situations. You just gotta go. This guy's gotta turn and run with you. He can't. I like Jaden Hicks. Jaden Hicks is a 4. Jaden Hicks is like a low 4-5. I mean, he's a high 4-5 guy. He can't run with Shakir. Shakir's a 4-4 guy. Can't run with him. But and the offensive line did well. Like, just no, bro. Just there's way too much field here. That's a touchdown. I think it's a touchdown. He gets vertical
Yeah.
and aims for aims for the middle of the between the actions here. Josh puts it out there. He runs under it. He scores. And we're talking about New Orleans instead of the draft. We're talking about New Orleans instead of Mobile, folks. Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Or not Cancun. Cancun's, yeah. Hey, Miss Little. Kev.
Yeah, man.
He's got to do better. Missed a few choice routes.
So where do we go now? And I don't even think that's a choice route. I just think that the kid's doing a poor job of reading what's in front of him. As soon as he comes off the line, he should look at that and say, that's coming to. I see the safety splitting like the freaking Red Sea right now.
Yep.
Take the road that Moses has laid out for you, son. Get to the promised land.
Exactly.
But instead, we're back in bondage, listening to Chief fans. Toot their own horn.
Yep.
Yes, reading is fundamental. Reading is fundamental. And listen, this is all like, I get it. I don't know what it's like. I don't know what it's like to play in an AFC championship game for an NFL team. I don't know. So I can't tell you what the nerves are like. I can't tell you any of that stuff. This is all after the fact of me looking at it and saying, but I can tell you this much. When I saw this real time, I'm yelling at the screen like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because it was there. And see, when I look at stuff like that, how do you blame the coaches? How do you blame the coaching staff for that? How do you blame Brady for dialing up the right play, getting the look that you want, and Shakir making the wrong choice?
Yep. I think it really comes down to, well, it's a little bit of everything, right? We just can't exactly pin the game on Joe Brady. We can't pin the game exactly on Josh or Khalil Shakir or maybe defensive personnel. It's a little bit of everything, right? And again, when you're playing the Chiefs, right, they found our weakness with Elam, once Benford came out, and we just can't afford those kind of dips against these great teams. I mean, that could make all the difference. It doesn't take much because Andy Reid's going to find it. I guarantee you that. I mean, he's seen it all at this point. Look at this, Will, getting a shout out, the GOAT.
Appreciate that, man. I wanted to go out. I'm sorry, I have to do this. I have to.
Uh-oh.
Give me a second. I'm going to find this. This was such a terrible play by Kyrie Elam. Jesus.
Oh boy.
I agree. It's really bad.
I want to agree. I want to agree with Kevin, and this is why I love our podcast, Whittle. We're not afraid to call Josh Allen when need be. I mean, we love Josh Allen, and we know what he means to this franchise. But he left some throws on the table this game. I mean, the 34 attempts for 34 attempts for 230 is not a good game, folks. It's not. Like, he needs to be closer to 300 for that game for us to be going to New Orleans, and that didn't happen.
Right.
Or take those attempts and hand that ball off to James Cook about 6 or 7 more times, and that could.
That's how we should have started the game, man.
Yep.
That's how we should have started the game.
And you know what? Teams evolve in the playoffs. Listen, even guys like Colin Cowherd, who I don't always agree with, said, that's how it is. I mean, the game evolves, right? We evolved against Baltimore. We played a different type of game that we're accustomed to playing. And I think we got a little bit too Josh Allen centric in this game when we didn't need to.
I gotta find this play where Kaiir Elam fell over his own feet. Oh my God. Bro, he cannot be back next year.
Yeah. When I saw him come in the game, I was like, please, just one time, Kaiir. This is your opportunity of a lifetime. And it was. He was on center stage, national, right? Everybody's watching. I said, this could be your redemption story, right? Play a solid game. Come in. It's your opportunities. Sometimes those guys surprise you that get that call. They're waiting on that bench. They're hungry. They're ready to come in. And it just unfortunately was far from the case. So.
You know what? Screw it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Per play in week 11, and in this game, he had a .13 EPA per play. So for those that want to see what Kevin is backing up here, and I agree with you, Kev. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not. I'm just not going to do it. I don't want to.
Oh no! Oh no, Dave.
I was going to bring it up. I'm not going to bring it up, man. It's such a terrible play, and I don't want to. I just don't want to. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
We wish Kaiir well. I mean, if he gets another opportunity somewhere, make the best of it. Like I said, sometimes certain situations, certain players, for whatever reason, they don't fit an organization, and maybe he'll get that opportunity somewhere else. Well, it'll probably be in Kansas City.
Yeah, and it'll be great. It'll be great.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Have like 7 interceptions. He'll be a great press man corner. It's great.
Shout out to Dr. Brown.
What's up, Doc? How you doing, man? Yep. Yeah,
what's up, Dr. Brown?
The Dolphins fans. I appreciate you pulling up, man, checking on us. Yeah. Thank you, Doc.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doc. I hope all is well with the family, sir.
Same here.
Yeah, so where do we go from here? Right, we have some free agents coming up. Cooper's a free agent. Matt Collins is a free agent. I hear DeMar Hamlin's a free agent. Russell Douglas is a free agent. Austin Johnson is a free agent. I want to say Smoot, but I think Smoot might have a 2-year deal. Oh, Smoot is as well?
Yeah, Smoot is I'm going to read you some unrestricted free agents. We just did sign Shane Buechele today, by the way. He was a restricted free agent. Quentin is a restricted free agent.
Cool.
According to my list here, Quentin Morris. And then we have Cooper, Douglas, Austin Johnson, DeMar Hamlin, Mac Hollins, Dwayne Smoot, Reggie Gilliam, Quentin Jefferson, Ty Johnson. That's going to be interesting. Jordan Phillips, Reed Ferguson, and Tommy Doyle.
Obviously, we're bringing back Reed. I would bring Jordan Phillips back. I would bring back Mac Hollins. I want to bring Cooper back as well. I would see what Ty Johnson's talking about, but honestly, this is a deep draft. If Ty Johnson wants to get paid, and there's some teams out there that will trade him, that will pay him, I would be fine with letting Ty Johnson walk and drafting a guy to come in and play that role for us. There's Devin Neal from Kansas. He's a guy that can fit that role. Oh God, a man corner who can't play man coverage. Kevin has been waiting. He has been waiting to dump on Elam, and you know what? You know what, Kevin? You're right.
Yeah,
Me and Kevin used
yes.
to go back and forth about Elam because I was a
Yep.
staunch Elam defender. Not anymore.
Yeah.
He's
Yep.
done. So I would bring back Austin Johnson. I think Austin Johnson was fine. Um, but I wouldn't bring Austin Johnson back for anything more than like a 1 year deal because I want to draft a guy that can come in and take his spot. Actually, I want to draft a guy that can come and take Daquan Jones' spot. So if they don't bring Austin Johnson back, that tells me that that's the route that they're 100% going early in the draft, which
Yep.
would make my freaking day. Quinn Morris, I'm good. He can go. I would bring Gillian back, but yeah, I mean Quinn Morris can go. We have what's the kid on the Zach Davidson? Let's let him rock. Let's let him rock.
We also
I am
re-signed
bringing back.
Ryan
We brought
Vandemark.
back Ryan
As well.
Vandermark, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So they're keeping the entire O line. Everybody else though on that list: Damar Hamlin, Rasul Douglas. I didn't love Rasul if Rasul would switch to safety. If he's willing to switch to safety, then that's something we can do. 100%. I will bring him back to play safety for this team. I would really like that. That would make my like. I would really love Rasul Douglas to come back and play free safety for us. Taylor Rapp can be the third safety. Cole Bishop can start as strong safety and play near the box where he's comfortable. I love Rasul's range, his ball skills. I think he can still play. He's a good. He can tackle. I think he could. I think he could add a few more years to his career at making that swap. That's where I would go. So Rasul, if you're listening, I don't want you to go anywhere except safety. Just switch rooms, bro. Switch rooms. I think you got a lot of good football left in you, and I think you could be a Pro Bowl level free safety because the ball skills are there, the competitiveness is there, the instincts are there. I would make him a safety.
Yep.
And then we don't have to take a safety super early in the draft. I mean, I want to, but you know. Anyway, we'll get into that another time. We have to address corner. I know people have been saying things like, "Oh, well, DJ Reed's out there." Ladies and gentlemen, we have $25 million after, according to Greg Thompson of Cover One, who's like a cap guru. We have $25 million to spend. That's it.
Is that before restructures or after restructures?
I don't know. I would have to reach out to Greg and find out. Or Kevin could tap in the chat and let us know because I'm sure they've had great conversations about this. But yeah,
we have plenty of off season runway to dig deep as we will until all of
we'll
these
get into all of that. So, a couple of things we got to address in the draft, I think, is impact player on the defensive line. We got to get a defensive tackle in here that can play next to Ed and make teams pay for double teaming Ed Oliver. I'd like to get another edge rusher on this team. I'd like to get, to be honest, I'd like to get a group replacement. I would like to get a guy. Yes,
interesting. Okay, all right, we're gonna.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a hot topic.
All of this, I don't want to pay Group though. I don't want to pay him. It's been 4 years. He hasn't hit double-digit sacks yet. I mean, the pass rush is just not there consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Again, $25 million.
Yeah.
$25 million
Yeah.
total.
Yeah.
$25 million total. So,
Yeah. And this is going to, Von Miller, and we had AJ ask about that as well. Would you keep Von Miller for depth? I know Von
it
Miller's
depends
talking
if
like he
he's going
wants
to
to be
take.
back.
It depends. If Von's going to take a pay cut, you keep him, and you draft a guy. You draft a defensive end that comes in and is going to play. Is going to start over AJ Epinesa because AJ Epinesa did absolutely nothing Sunday.
And
And
Will, I want
Drew
to give a
did
shout out
nothing as
to
well.
I want to give a shout out to Micah Hyde, retired from the NFL, right? So do you think Micah Hyde could eventually become a coach on this roster?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You think that
For sure.
I can see that coming soon? Yeah, because maybe that's one of the reasons he came back. Was
Probably
maybe
not
kind of
this year.
showcase himself. Maybe not this year, but yeah, eventually maybe he comes back as a secondaries coach or assistant secondary, something along those lines. So I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
So it would be amazing.
Well, I see we got Chief fans in here that never showed up before. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that's okay. Hey, listen, I don't even react to the draft trade stuff. Honestly, it is
I
what it
just want to
is.
say
I'm
something
okay with
really
who we
quick
got.
though,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm gonna put a bow on this. Let's get out of here. Let's wrap this up.
Yep. Yep.
There are a few Chief fans that I know that are good people. I like them a lot.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. The rest of these Chief fans who parade around here like like they're better than everybody else. They know more than everybody else because the team that they root for, which they probably have only been rooting for over the last 7 or 8 years, is winning. Like, you guys
Since
are
Brady left New
scummy.
England.
Yeah, like for real, you guys are really scummy. You guys are really Jeez, I'm trying to find the words without the words. Just
Understood.
god awful, terrible, terrible, terrible people. Terrible sports fans, not people. You may be great people in every other aspect of your life, but as a sports fan, you're horrible. You really are, because the amount of people, the amount of Chief fans who never interacted with, never said anything to me, nothing, no interaction. All in my mentions Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and it's like, you were not around in week 11 when we beat y'all. You weren't around throughout the season. I'm not and when you know what? And when we win, I go after my bookmarks. I don't go after people who I never, I don't go after those guys, man. Like, if you never said nothing to me and I ain't never said nothing, I'm not going after you. I'm not going after you. For what?
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is.
I'm not playing with those Chief fans. I'm more interested, like you said, in the good Chief fans that we do discuss ball with, and we discuss, right? I mean, Chiefs. We all know how great the Chiefs are. I mean, we don't need to go down this road, but I want to give a shout out to everyone in our group chat. Not even just for tonight, Whittle, the whole season, and we know, who the Freedom Flyers are. You guys are the best. If it wasn't for you, this would be way less entertaining in terms of just this June. He does like St. John's. He likes the Knicks. So I'll give him that. But other than that, yeah, he's not getting anything from us today. So especially this week, but again, shout out to everybody. The comments were great. The conversations were awesome, and just remember, we're just getting started right now, right, Whittle? It's like the great Marv Levy said, we'll lie down and bleed for a little while, and we'll rest, and we'll get up again. So many words, his famous quote. Remember, he used to say that. And Whittle says it all for us right there. Just one before I die, and I couldn't agree more. That's all I want.
Please.
Don't need 4, don't need 7. We just need 1. So
Listen,
And
I got a narrative I'm going to start pushing.
Mhm.
You ready for this?
Yep.
Do you know where the Super Bowl is next year?
San Francisco, I believe.
You know whose backyard that is?
Josh.
Winning for the home crowd.
All
Buffalo
right.
Bills Super
I
Bowl
can get
winner
down for that.
next year. San Francisco.
I
Fireball
can make
stand up.
Yep. I'll make a nice little drive up
That's
to
the
5 up
agenda.
there for I'll go up to 5 for that game, Whittle. I'll go from LA up there. So
That's the agenda we're pushing.
yep. That happens, Whittle. You're flying
We
you're
took
flying
this
out.
loss.
Whittle,
Yeah.
you're flying
Oh,
to San
yeah.
Francisco and we'll rent an Airbnb for everybody. We'll watch the games all together. We'll make that happen. So we'll make it happen.
No, I'm going to watch the game from the parking lot.
Exactly.
I'm
Oh
not going to be
yeah.
able to afford the ticket, but
No.
I'm
Oh
watching
yeah,
it from
yeah.
the
No,
parking lot.
We don't need to be at the game. No, we don't need to go inside. We'll at least do that.
He will.
Yes, I know
He
he will
will.
for sure. I know, and I want him to experience that.
Him and
But
Sherm.
you know what?
Sherm will be in. Sherm will be in there.
Yeah.
For 12 beers in, no shirt. Probably getting thrown
12
out by the
beers,
third quarter.
12 beers.
12 beers,
Well,
no shirt.
so
Sherm is getting thrown out of the Super Bowl. Guaranteed.
you say we'll have a draft picks prop for when Sherm gets tossed from the Super Bowl over under halftime.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be
All
third
right.
quarter.
Yeah. Third quarter.
See,
Okay,
third quarter, he's out of there.
All right, he's out of there.
They'll put up with him till halftime. After that, he's out of there. Third quarter, they're throwing him out of there.
Here's something
but-
else AJ said. Last season at Highmark this year. Let's not forget that coming up in 2025.
Yeah,
So that would be pretty awesome too. And let's give a shout out to the Bills 10-0 at home this year. Amazing year. That's the thing. You know, it stings right now, Whittle, and I think these shows are therapeutic in a way for us. I mean,
they weren't good on the road.
No.
They were not good on the road.
We still got to improve on the road. I think we built the kind of team for it, but we got to call the kind of game for it, which we could have done this weekend.
Yeah.
Instead of giving the ball 13 times to our star running back, we could have, if we played the kind of game we should have. But then again, hey, it is what it is. But we had a great season. We came within an eyelash of making the Super Bowl in a year where we were supposed to get 8 wins. We were lectured in 9 wins, swept by Miami. You guys are done. You're going to rebuild. Josh Allen's going to want to get traded to New York, to LA. We heard all the stories all off season. And yet, like you said, you brought this up, and it was so true. 3rd highest dead cap hit in the league this year. Questions on the defense. For the most part, we answered the bell on almost everything. We still have a runway to get better. Now, does it guarantee we're going to get there? No. Other teams are going to become knocking. Houston's going to get better. There's going to be teams that Houston's going to be a team to watch, in my opinion. They got an excellent coach. They got a great defense. They're going to be there. They got cap room. So there's going to be plenty of competition in the AFC, but we're going to be right there.
Down next year. No tank down.
That's true. And we'll be there.
I'll tell you what. I think we're going to be good. I think this team that you saw this year was the worst Buffalo Bills team you're going to see for the next 3 years. I think that they added an impact player on the defensive line. I think they go and get a talent corner opposite of Benford. Mm-hmm. And I think they go and get I think they bring back Cooper, but I think they also go and get a wide receiver in this draft that has the potential to be a difference maker as the X.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And we're going to see if Brandon Beane, who's been a long kind of guy, right? Playing the long game. He's talked about that. Does he get a lot more aggressive this offseason after really tasting that potential to win it all this year, right? So we're going to find out what he does next couple of years. And we'll see what Josh's new contract brings, because we know he's going to probably get one this offseason. Plenty to talk about.
Not too, man. That cap hit next year is like $60 million, bro. So it's gotta happen.
Yep.
It's gotta happen.
And that's the one thing I love about Josh. I mean, we could talk about some of his flaws and things, but he'll do what's best for the team. He'll get the right balance between getting paid and trying to help the team out in some way.
Well, let's see what he does in the off season to get better
Mhm.
because we need better from him.
Yep.
If we're gonna get past the Chiefs, we're gonna get to the Super Bowl. We need better from him for
Yes, we
sure.
do.
But
Yep.
next week, we'll I don't know. I'm up in the air by next week. I think I'm gonna think we'll do it. I'll let you. We'll talk about it. And
Hmm. Sure.
you know
Okay.
what? We'll if you're looking for Super Bowl content, don't come here, okay? Because I'm not talking about the Super Bowl. I
No,
probably won't watch it.
me
Um,
either.
the
I'm
only
not
reason I
watching it this year.
only reason I watched it last year is because the wifey is a 49ers fan, so I watched it. I watched some of it for because of her, but yeah, no, no,
I'll
I'm
tell you.
I'm
I'll give you two guarantees. I'm not watching it, and the Philadelphia Eagles are winning the Super Bowl. I'm giving you those two guarantees right now.
okay.
So take
All
it what you
right.
will. All right. The
Listen,
Philadelphia Eagles
my
are winning the Super Bowl. So mark it down.
you
But
know what I
we're
want
not
to
we're
happen
not
for
going
the
to
Super
preview it.
Bowl.
Oh, what's that?
This is what I want to happen in the Super Bowl. Hold on, let me pull it up. Just
Oh boy, I
wait,
can't wait to see this.
this is gonna be great. Hold on, yo. This is what I want to see happen in the Super Bowl. That's a lovely, lovely voice.
That our flag was still there. Who seed us that
Oh no.
star-spangled banner yet wave? O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The only outcome that will make my Bills fan heart happy.
Oh man.
Let the games begin. You have no idea what's about to happen, do you, Brian?
No, I do not. I do not know. Oh no, Whittle. Oh man. Oh,
That's right. Goodbye, Chiefs. Goodbye, Eagles. Goodbye, referees and Goodell. Goodbye.
to say spicy Whittle as a rise is an understatement.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm
I
joking.
know. Well,
Relax.
it's all
I know
supposed to be a
somebody's gonna see this and
joke. Clip it
oh my
and they're
god,
gonna
let's report him. Let's report him,
yeah.
guys.
No, we're all good
Yeah,
here.
but
That's pretty,
I'm not
what
watching
movie?
it, bro.
What
I'm
was
not
that, by
watching
the
it.
way? What was that?
That's from Batman.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's from it's a Batman. It's like Batman. Yeah. Oh boy.
I know Whittle. Well, hang in there and we can put a bow on it on the 2024 season, as sad as it is, and say we did fall short. It wasn't a very exciting year. Oh, Gotta say, that's pretty
That was
good.
good,
So,
Mark. That
Mark
was good.
Ruffalo, yes,
That was good.
yeah. Somewhere McDermott is ears are ringing, saying, it's something I may have taught the team or something."
McDermott
Maybe use
said,
that
"Wow, that
message.
might be a good idea. That's one way to get past the Chiefs, right?
Yeah,
Wipe them off
yeah,
the mat."
yeah, yeah. And your mom agrees those birds are going to be flying, and I couldn't agree more. But again, we're not going
Uh,
to spend too much time on it. But fly, Eagles, fly, and they will win the Super Bowl this year. So you mark my words. So
Whatever.
I
Uh,
know what you mean. I know.
hey,
We'll
we'll
get
get
there.
into some draft stuff going forward. You know that this is
Hmm.
one of my favorite time parts of the
Hmm.
season. I will be bringing in some special guests to talk about some of these players. Uh, a couple
For sure.
names that I want you guys to get familiar with: Trey Amos, Ole Miss; uh, Kobe Bryant.
Oh, really?
Um, yes, Kobe
That
Bryant,
Kobe spelled the
Kansas.
same? Is it
I
C
think
O
he's
B
from
E or K
Kansas.
O B E?
Cobee. Kobe Bryant from
Oh.
Kansas. Dorian Strong, Virginia Tech. Um,
Hmm.
Siobhan Revel, Eastern Carolina University. So those are some names to pay attention to.
I
Um,
love it.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's even
So
though it is this, we didn't expect it this week. I was thinking we would have had a huge Super Bowl
yeah,
excitement,
bro.
build up. But hey, it's
I
okay.
hate it
We'll
here.
take a couple weeks off, right? We'll let things die off a little bit. We'll get right back into it here. And like I said, for any of our listeners, come back. It's gonna, we may think it's the off season, but we're just warming up here. So we do
Yeah,
pivot. We'll take a week off or so. We'll reconvene. We'll recharge. We'll get into free agency. We'll start looking at that a little bit. Start looking at some contracts. Who could stay? Who could go? Maybe some coaching things. We'll see. Who knows? And plenty to talk about. The NFL offseason. What offseason? I mean, maybe June is about the only off season. Maybe early July. That's about it. And away we
yeah.
go.
Well, last thing, the next person that says the Bills should re-sign DeMar Hamlin on Twitter, I'm blocking you. That is the final. There is no
Yeah.
more warning. If you type in, if you type, go on your phone and you type, I think the Bills should re-sign DeMar Hamlin, and you hit post, and I see it, I'm blocking you. I'm gonna
Mm.
block you. Okay, so consider yourself warned. All right, ladies and gents, thank you. Have a good evening.
You do the
When the
same,
Jets
Will.
say tear it down, we say retool, rebuild, and retry next year. Oh,
Hmm.
God.
Yep. You
Oh,
have a good evening, Will. Thank you, and go Bills as always.
go Bills.